Hello, Mr. Mponzi. This is English session for class 4. We are welcome. Okay, today we are going to learn about simple past tense. As you know that in English we have 3 tenses. We have the past, we have the present, we have the future. But we are going to deal with the part of the past where we have a simple past tense. Simple past tense is a verb tense that is used to talk about things that happened or existed before now, before this time. It shows that you are talking about something that has already happened. That is simple past tense. Now, you can also use simple past tense to refer to a state of being, to a past state of being, such as the way someone feels about something. And this is often expressed with the simple past tense of the verb to be. When we say the verb to be, we mean the use of was and were. So the verb to be is used together with an adjective, a noun, or prepositional phrase. For example, here we have a sentence. Asha was proud of her tennis victory. Asha was proud of her tennis victory. So here we see was, which is a form of a verb to be, is used here to show the state of feeling, which is proud here. Another sentence is the contest was the highlight of our week. We are still talking about Asha here. So the contest was the highlight of the week. So here, was is used as a form of verb to be to express the feeling of the context here, because the context is the one which is being talked about. Then we have a sentence, they were afraid of dogs. Here we have another form of a verb to be, which is were. So here the situation which is being felt here is afraid. Okay, after seeing what are the uses of simple past tense, let's now come to the part which tells about the formulation of simple past tense, or how are we forming the simple past tense. Here we say for regular verbs. When we say regular verbs, are those verbs which you can get their past tense by adding ed or d to a root form of the verb. So here, for example, we have the verb play. As you know that a verb is a doing word, or is a word which is showing an action. We have the verb play. The past tense is played. You see here we have added ed from the root form which was play. We have type. The past form is typed. Here we have added only d, as we have said here that you can either add ed to a root form of the verb, or you can add d if the root form already ends in e, like here in the word type. Then you have listen, which the past form is listened. You see here we have added ed. We have the verb push, which the past form is pushed. So you see here we have the addition of ed or d to a root form of the verb. So that is for regular verbs. But for irregular verbs, these are described, they are categorized in different groups. So here, for irregular verbs, things change here. The simple past tense of the form of some irregular verbs looks exactly like the root form from the other group. we said we can have maybe more than 4 groups to categorize these irregular verbs, because when we say something irregular, something which has no clear shape, something which is changing, so these are kinds of verbs which you will not only add ed or d, they can change to a different form, or they can remain to the exact root form. Like here, we have put. Put, the past tense of put is put. The past tense of cut is cut. The past tense of heart is heart. The past tense of hit is hit. So here we don't have any addition. So here, this is another group of verbs which we call them irregular verbs. But irregular verbs, they have different groups where they can change. So we say here, for other irregular verbs, including the verb to be, the simple past form are more erratic. When we say something more erratic, we say something which is changing to different forms. Like here we have the verb see, the past form is saw. You have the verb build, the past form is built. We have the verb to be, which is is, which in past becomes was and were. We have the verb go, which the past form is went. We have the verb form do, the past form is did. We have the verb rise, the past form is rose. So here, this is how we formulate the simple past tense. Now let us move to another part where we have to see how to form negative sentences from these past, from these verbs which are in past tense. So here we say there is a formula for making simple past verbs into negative. And this form is the same for both irregular and irregular verbs, but except for verb to be. We say we have verb to be, which is was and were. So here, the formula is, we have did not here, because this is an auxiliary verb. Did not plus the root form of the verb can be maybe play, see, or dance. Then you can also use the contraction form if you don't want to use this did not here. You can say didn't instead of did not. So this one and this one are the same. For example, Juma did not talk too much about his career here. So this is our negative sentence. Juma did not talk too much about his career. So this is one of the examples of negative statement here. So for the verbs to be, because we say here this is applying for all irregular verbs and regular verbs. So for the verb to be, you don't need to, when I say the verb to be, I'm talking about was, where. You don't need the auxiliary did here. If you are talking about the verb to be, which is was and where, you don't need the auxiliary did. When the subject of the sentence is singular, use was not, or wasn't. But when the subject is plural, use were or weren't. For example here, Ali was not happy about it. Ali was not happy about it here. So here we have the verb to be was not here to make our sentence negative. Then we have another sentence, the pupils were not sad by that time. So we have here were not, because the pupils here are many. So we are talking about the plural form. Here we have they weren't coming together that day. So here we have the negative statement, which is having a contraction form of were not, which is weren't. And then we have the fourth winner was not satisfied. Here we are talking about just a single person. but we have a contraction form of the verb to be, which is wasn't. So that is how we form the negative statement in simple past tense. After seeing about the simple past tense, I think we have an exercise about how to answer the questions related to simple past tense. So next time then we'll continue with the other part, which is a small part remaining, and then I think it will be over with the past tense. Thank you.